Don't do it, John. Don't tell him the secret. Fuck it. Let's do it. All right. John Merwin, owner, CEO, entrepreneur, More Wins LLC. I'm going to tell you the secret today that you may be missing, that you may have never even thought of in your professional career, your relationships, your emotional journey, your spiritual journey. A lot of things that apply in your life apply to this, what I would call a job skill, but it's really a life skill, okay? So first and foremost, as always, I'm going to ask, because it never hurts to ask, and it only takes you 2 seconds. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. If you get value out of this video, please subscribe, please comment, let me know. So we're going to talk about, real quick, listening. 2 ears, 1 mouth. I want to get into it with you guys about types of listening. So believe it or not, whether or not you've been told in your life, listen to me, listen up, learn, those kind of things. Maybe your girlfriend, your fiance, your boyfriend, somebody said, you never, ever listen to me. Why don't you listen to me? This video is for you. There are actually types of listening, and we're going to get into that. So brought in the whiteboard again. I hope you guys like this format. I'm going to actually be writing out some of the things that I'm thinking about while we go through this. And so a lot of people confuse. I don't want you to get confused, okay? Let me grab my marker here. Listening does not equal hearing. Okay? I'm sure as a teenager, there have been multiple times where you talked to your mom or your dad and you heard them, but you didn't listen to a thing that they had to say. Happens all the time. Sometimes maybe you have a boss that you don't respect, or a boss that you, for some reason or another, you've decided doesn't know anything. You're going to listen, you're going to hear, but you're not going to listen, right? You're not going to seek to understand. You're just going to hear what they're saying and then let it go one ear, out the other. My mom used to tell me that all the time. It just goes in one ear and out the other. And I'm like, I'm not stupid. I'm just ignoring what you're telling me. So the first listening is actually listening to understand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it down into 3 steps here. I like steps, and I'm going to break it down into 3 steps. So your first step for effective listening to understand is, number 1, shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Okay? Our brain is geared so that when we're talking, we're not listening. These are shut off. So in order to understand, in order to listen to your boss, your supervisor, your wife, your employees, your coworkers, anybody, stop talking. Okay? Another trick that you may never have consciously thought of is to shut off this. There's a voice in your head. It's going constantly. It's impossible to stop, okay? But you can quiet it. And you can quiet it really effectively by really tuning in to what somebody else is saying. If you didn't get that, please rewind and listen to what I'm saying again. You can shut this voice down by really, really, really tuning in to what the other person is saying, okay? So, number 2, shut your mind. It doesn't mean like kill it to where you're just like, I'm not open to anything. That means that you're shutting down that voice inside. So I'll put /voice here, okay? And as always, this video is raw and uncut, so I'm going to back this up a little bit so you can see more of the whiteboard. And we'll just shoot everything straight and authentic and real. Okay? Part of the reason this will keep going when you're listening is if you are listening to problem solve. Okay? Men, If you're hearing me out there, men, we are big problem solvers, especially dads, right? We hear something, our kid says, you know, so-and-so was bullying me, or the teacher said I didn't listen, or whatever. We're listening really fast to try to problem solve. We may not be hearing what the other person is actually trying to convey. They might just, you know, your daughters might just be trying to convey to you that they're frustrated. And they'll figure it out, but they just want you to hear that they're frustrated. Another big type of listening right now that I see a lot in the workforce is a listening to be heard. Okay? And that comes from you're trying to argue, right? It's almost like I'm preparing for what you're going to tell me, and the whole time you're saying things, I'm acting like a lawyer, or I'm acting like a police officer, and I'm just thinking about what I'm going to say back to shut you down. If you ever been in an argument with a ex-girlfriend or an ex-boyfriend or somebody like that, where you just argued and argued and argued, you was just fighting, right? And you were both back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Trust me, she wasn't hearing you, and you weren't. She wasn't listening to you, and you weren't listening to her. You were hearing each other, but neither one of you was practicing listening, because you were thinking the whole time about what I'm going to say to what they're saying in order to defend myself, which leads me to step number 3, which is put down the shield. Put down your shield, okay? This, I cannot stress this enough, guys and ladies. In your work, listening effectively is huge, okay? When people understand that you are listening and you are understanding them, you will get so much buy-in. And this goes all different levels, right? You've heard about managing up, managing down, managing sideways. Those are all theories about how you interact with other people. And when your supervisor knows you are tuned in and you are listening and you are learning and you understand where they're coming from, when your coworkers know you understand where they're coming from, if you are in a leadership position or a management position, your subordinates or your associates or your team members, however you want to call them, understand that you understand where they're coming from, and you're always there to listen, and you may not even have a solution, but you'll listen and you'll hear them. Your interpersonal skills will just skyrocket, okay? Same thing with the relationships. When your wife or your husband or your significant other understand that you really want to listen to them and you really want to understand where they're coming from, and you're just there to support them, the level of acceptance in your relationship will just shoot through the roof. So I know this is a lot of information, and I'm bringing it on really fast because, you know, I want to get this video done in under 10 minutes. I understand you guys are like me. I got ADHD. I do shorts a lot because I can't pay attention to anything for more than 15 seconds. Listening is for you. Listening is for me. It's a difficult thing to do. Get a book. Listen to an audiobook about listening. This is something I recommend to my associates and my team members all the time. Listen to an audiobook about listening, because it forces you to listen to the audiobook, and then you have to practice. It's just like any other skill. You practice it, you practice it, you practice it. Okay? I really appreciate your time. I really appreciate you watching this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Next video I'm working on, I want to talk about failure. Okay, so this is job skill number 3, listening. I believe it's one of the most important, but you got to get job skill number 1 and number 2 out of the way first before you can practice listening. Okay, so I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoy the short. I hope you have a wonderful night. I hope you have a wonderful day at work tomorrow, and I work every day, so I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one.